You know, I have to say, though, electric cars in Porsche, that's something I never thought was going to happen.
Yeah, thanks first of all for having me here, David. You're right, that's most probably not the first connection that you would have with a sports car manufacturer. But as a brand for exclusive sports cars, we are currently also in a transition to move into a brand supplying exciting and exclusive mobility. What does it mean for us? The automotive industry is facing a big break with the previous system per se. The big three trends that we are talking about are electrification, digitalization, and connectivity. And we are a pioneer in the electrification area. Porsche was one of the first manufacturers for premium cars to offer 3 plug-in hybrid models in different model lines. And I think you just mentioned it. The big milestone is in 2020, the Mission E, where Porsche invests more than 1 billion euros into the production side and into the development and research of the car, plus establishes 1,200 additional employees.
Let's talk about the business now. How is the business? I mean, you sold, what, 5,600 cars across Asia, vehicles across Asia last year. How many have you sold this year? Are you on track for your target?
We are on track. So worldwide, we sold almost 240,000 cars last year. In Asia, it was 65,000. 65,000. China, including Asia Pacific. For the Asia Pacific, which is the smaller sum of the markets, we were at 5,589, which was a record year. And we are not predicting too much the numbers. It's also not only about the sales numbers, but we expect another growth and record year for Porsche in Asia Pacific and also worldwide for this year.
Martin, Porsche's margins have been remarkable the past couple of years. You've said that it is your sacred cow, but with the Mission E and all of these research dollars, research and development dollars flowing into the development of that car, is there a risk of these profit margins shrinking for Porsche?
It's a very good question, Angie. It's part of our strategy 2025 that Porsche aims for a return on sales of 15% plus as a manufacturer, and that's inherited in our strategy. So while on the one side, and that's the biggest challenge for us, while on the one side investing into research and development, production sites, marketing of a new product line like the Mission E, we have to make sure that we are cost conscious, that we prioritize different projects, and through the right investments and an innovative spirit, make sure that we stick to our 15%, which is a target that we definitely want to maintain and we will maintain.
Further headwinds in the global auto sector here. How do the luxury sector, how is it faring despite all of that?
I mean, especially here in Asia, we are acting in an environment where we have fast-growing economies with high populations in those countries, talking especially about Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, but also Singapore. And the income levels are increasing with the economic growth of those countries. And people that can afford, they also desire for a sports car. They want to reward themselves. They want to fulfill a dream. And what would be better to fulfill a dream than a Porsche? So we strongly believe in the luxury automotive segment potential here in the region.
Obviously, there's a correlation between the health of an economy and, you know, demand for expensive rides. You know, I'm wondering how close that correlation is. I mean, how do you plan around it? If the economy is bad, I mean, it's not as if, and you guys sold what, your 1 millionth 911. It's not as if the potential buyers for 911 go hungry when the economy doesn't do well.
It's true. There is a strong link. In the last 10 years, we invested a lot of our efforts to make us or to put ourselves in a position that we are less vulnerable to short-term influences in the markets. So how do we do that? First of all, we allocated our focuses more on the different regions. So we have now 3 big, strong regions: Europe, the US, and the Asia-Pacific area, which makes us less dependent on economic developments if you just look at the oil price and what happens in the Middle East region. So that's the worldwide scale. And the second point is our product portfolio. So we aligned the life cycles of our product portfolio, but also the 911, our icon, you just mentioned it, just the 1 millionth car run off the production line. But we have the Macan, the Panamera, the Cayenne, and the 718 Boxster Cayman. So for different kind of customers in different positions of their wealth situation and also in different positions of their life, we offer the right product at the right time.
Apart from the electric car, you mentioned your product line. Are there any plans over the next few years, any conversations that you've heard within the company of expanding the number of model lines beyond the current 5?
At the moment, our big next milestone is the Mission E. But what we do and what you also experience permanently is that we extend within the model lines. So the latest edition we just announced, and it's going to hit the market by the end of this year, is the Panamera Sport Turismo. Yeah, so another highlight within the model lines. So that's what we're doing, yeah.
Well, Martin, there is a tradition here in Asia where we take care of our parents. And Porsche is no stranger to that, taking care of its parent Volkswagen, especially after that recent controversy in the emissions scandal. How are the numbers shaping up there in terms of money flow and your ability to support your parent and also support your internal growth?
I mean, I just bring it back to our yearly results of 2016 with 237,000 cars plus, a revenue of 22.3 billion euros and an operating result of 3.8 billion euros, which is an operating margin of 17.4% in last year. I think these numbers show the contribution that we give into the Volkswagen Group. At the same time, we remain and stay independent in our way of doing business. Because our mother, if we can call it like this, knows exactly what our business principles are and how we contribute to the overall situation.